What is up guys, Boop here and welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be talking about the most overpowered trio spots for the FNCS. If you're not landing at any of these spots, you're doing yourself a massive disservice. So let's get into it. With the introduction of 50% spawn rates on chests, a lot of the old trio paths are no longer viable. A lot of teams have resorted to just landing at POIs because there's no other choice, because you want to have good loot as a trio. By landing at these POIs, you also just force yourself into fighting other teams, which in a stacked FNCS format is not optimal. So let's take a look at what makes these spots I'm about to show you very overpowered. If you're not already aware, there is a new fishing mechanic that you can do with the boats. If you shoot a rocket from a boat at a fishing spot, it gives you all of the loot that is in that fishing spot. So you can instantly get 3 fishes or 3 weapon spawns. What this means though is that a lot of the RNG from the 50% spawn rate of chests is negated by forcing yourself to fish these spots with the boat, which means you can get max shield, insane weapons, all instantly from your spot. So the following 3 spots you're about to see all introduce this mechanic and use it somehow to give you the best loot possible. Furthermore, all of these spots offer an upgrade station, which means that all the weapons you get from these fishing spots can be upgraded or side graded into purple pumps, golden scars, or whatever you want. So it is very overpowered. The houses north of Pleasant is one of the most underrated spots on the map, and it is especially overpowered this season. It has a total of 28 different fishing spots that you can gather, which can give you an insane amount of loot, as well as an upgrade station and the possibility of max metal, max brick, and max wood. The spot also has 2 very unique things added to the season: a Quinjet spawn and 2 possible rifts, as well as 25 different chest spawns. It is a very good spot as a trio to get guaranteed loot and the easiest rotations you can get on the map with the rifts. The spot itself plays out quite simply. One player lands on the house near the lighthouse, another player lands on the front houses, and another player lands on the little island when you're uncontested. The player on the mini island focuses on one major thing: looting on the island and getting towards that boat so they can instantly fish all of the spots with the boat mechanic. Since the other 2 loot paths are quite simple and straightforward, let me show you the loot path of the player that has to land on the fish island. This player's task is quite simple. You land on the little hut to the east of the island. There should be a chest spawn in there and a weapon spawn on the island right next to it. Make sure you get all of the wooden pallets, but please be careful and do not hit these little jerry cans, as they can be deadly. Afterwards, you go towards the main hut and get the 2 chests in there and try to farm all the metal and get all the pallets at the bottom to make sure you're max wood. After that, you run towards the boat spawn, which is to your southwest, and you drop all of your weapons except the shotgun that you have in case you get pushed from Craggy. And once you're full up on fish, make sure you start throwing them towards the west side and on top of the little hill so that your teammates can get them easier. The most important thing for the 2 other players is to gather as much metal as you can. There is a truck spawn near the rifts and also these metal cars here, which can give you max metal for your team. Well, there are 2 main rotations that you can make when dropping in the spot. For very south to southwest zones, you just want to take the rift and play towards dead side on Holly. If you have a far zone, so zones near Caddy for example, you want to take a boat all the way around and try to get towards dead side near Dirty or Misty. You can use your boat to fish all the fishing spots and get your health back and make a storm play so you avoid all of the congestion. The next spot on the map is Fortilla. Now this spot is very good this season because there are 38 different slurp barrels, which means you and your team don't have to pop any of the shield and can save all of that shield for late game. It also has a Quinjet spawn, as well as an insane amount of fishing spawns so you can get all those godlike weapons. The loot path for the fisher player is quite simple. They land near the shanty houses on one of the huts with the chest in it. They get that chest, get up the full shield with all of the barrels, and start fishing. All of these fishes should be thrown towards Fortilla so that the other teammates can get them. Although it might seem quite risky for this player to fish in a Slurpee, they're entirely safe if they keep saving their boost. So if you see any sort of player near you, instantly boost towards your teammates, and your teammates have a boat as well to come help you. For the other 2 players, they land inside of Fortilla on these single chests and stay together until they get full shield from the slurp barrels to the north of them. Afterwards, they split off with each other and loot the entirety of Fortilla together. Fortilla also offers a lot of metal, but it is really important for the 2 teammates that loot the entirety of Fortilla to loot enough metal for the 3rd player, as that player is too busy with fishing to actually farm all the mats up. Rotations out of Fortilla are quite simple. If you look at the map on the screen right now, you can see that most of your northeast rotations, so cross map rotations, you want to make the same boat plate that we mentioned before for the houses north of Dunes Domain. For more central zones, you want to aim for the mountains near Weeping, and for north to northwest zones, you want to try to play dead side around Harley and try to get towards the west side of Doom's Domain. Next spot on the map is Authority. Now this spot obviously plays a little bit more different since it's a lot more central. However, it is very easy to rotate from this spot, and everything else is quite straightforward. You have two players that are landing on the south side of Authority, one landing near the vault and getting that chest, the other person landing near the vent and getting all of those chests in there. The player who's going to be building is going to be landing at the top and breaking down. From there are 3 possible chests you can get, as well as 2 chili pepper spawns that you can use as your late game rotation as well. From there, you're breaking out towards the north and getting the boat. You shoot at the main hut, which has a chest in it as well, and start looking for the fishing spots. So your main goal now is to get all those fishes back towards Authority and to be as efficient as possible. You can speed this up a little bit by scouting with your teammates before you land into Authority and noting down where the fishing spots are. So for example, you can say there are 4 spots to the north, 3 spots to the east, and 2 spots to the south. Then the player in the boat can know and prioritize where to go first with their boat. I also forgot to mention there's a high chance of a Quinjet being spawned here as well. Rotation out of Authority are also very simple. Most of the time you're going to be playing to those mountains to your south. For northwest zones, you're probably going to be taking the river to get quick access towards dead side on Coral side. And the rest of the rotations are pretty straightforward by playing dead side. The final spot is Savage Island, also known as Camp Cod. Now this spot is very good because there's a lot of fishing spots and an insane amount of metal for your trio. The trio split itself is quite simple. One person lands on metal side, one person lands on the house, one person lands on the 3 chest spawns to the northwest. When contested, you probably want to take left side because it has a natural high ground advantage. You can get easy beams / sneak ups on metal side. Similar to the other spots, a player that lands on metal side is focused on getting all of the fish, which means that the 2 other players need to be focused on getting as much materials as possible for the entire team. In the respective spots, both players on the left side of the island can get max metal for themselves and can focus on farming metal on metal side, so when they rotate, the player who fishes has max metal and basically max as well. The player who lands metal focuses on landing on top of the tower where there's 2 potential chest spawns nearby. They get those 2 chests, get the chest inside of the house, and make sure you get a decent amount of wood and metal here before you start getting on top of the boat, because you can get shot from weather station or any team rotating from the cabins to your east. Similar to the other spots, you focus on getting the fish and throwing it towards your teammates so you can rotate as easily and as quickly as possible. Since it's an edge zone map and zones are usually far away, you want to be as efficient as possible. So be as efficient as possible and make sure you are scouting before you're landing so you can find the fish as quickly as possible. And I also forgot to mention there's also a Quinjet spawn here. So when that spawns as well, you have extra loot and extra shield as well. Same as the houses north of Dunes Domain, you're going to rotate mostly with your boat going either left or right depending on where the zone goes. For more central zones or zones that center around Misty, your main focus is this yellow square here, getting in control of that mountain and getting storm surge tags. Always scout from this mountain before you go, as it can be pretty congested near Misty. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you learned something and you enjoyed the video, please consider giving a like and subscribing. I stream every single day on Twitch doing VOD reviews, so if you're interested in that, follow my Twitch channel. And other than that, thank you so much for watching and have yourself a good day.